Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had that OG veterano from G Street Marihuanos and bro, let throw up that B sign, smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and have them smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the following patrons. Fuck your chest pains. Priya these nuts. Lockdown 5, Crystal Bond, La Reina, Raymond, Tony Rex, Hernan, Michael Mua, Winston, Alejandro, Trailero 760, Grant, El Skid, Nathan, Hobie Cat, Lead with Love, Albert 12, AI Vega, Fio, Esquiel, Big Bad 48, JT, Nova, Jack, Linda, Angel, Michigan Wolverines, Mikey, the homie Marius, Chevelle 66, Abuelita's Journey, Gigi, and Dal Herrero. If you have not already signed up for that Patreon, make sure you hit that link in the description below. I'm only going to continue to bring it. This episode right here, man. Well, first of all, I'm in the fucking car, as you can see, in the Ramfla. Man, I was trying to teach my daughter some street lingo the other day. I was like, hey, baby, we're leaving the pad. And I was like, pad is another word for house. And my wife's like, you don't need to be teaching her that kind of stuff. I said, oh, yeah? Baby, we just left the canton. I don't care, man. I want my daughter to grow up street smart, right? She can't be book smart. Nobody likes people that are book smart. Here we go. This episode right here, man, I never did truly share this story. I'm in the car, I'm on the road, I was in a hotel last night. I started thinking about transportation runs, right? I can go more into depth on how the process is, but I'll tell you about this one time that I was in the crisis response team, CRT. My rank at the prison was lieutenant. I was at Donovan, of course, the worst place of all places, and there was this problem child inmate. The dude was a problem child. And when I say problem child, this dude would always do staff assaults, always rub shit on his body, always break windows, always hold the handcuffs, always break the handcuffs. As you can see, it was always issue with this guy. Not always. This guy would have episodes, right? Whatever type of psychotic episode you want to call it. Sometimes people wild out, right? You'll see me do it on YouTube from here and then. Holy shit, we hit 2 million views. 2 million views on YouTube. Thank you guys. Fuck my man. Thank you guys. It's all thanks to you guys. Trust me. It's all thanks to you guys. That's why I just keep bringing it. Bringing it even when I'm on the road. This fucking inmate was a problem child. So much so that you guys have to understand, when inmates act out like this at Donovan, they bounce around all over the state. And I've been having a lot of guys tap in saying, oh, good job, man. Thank you. We got your problem childs, for the lack of better words, here at our prison, here at Kern Valley ADSEG, here at Chino, Ohu, here at Stockton, CHCF, mental health crisis bed. So when these fools act a fool, and they claim, oh, I'm suicidal, they malinger the whole mental health process. So they'll bounce around the state. In charge of the mental health is not the prisons. There's a place called, what the fuck is that shit called? It's in Sacramento. I forgot what it's called. I don't even care to remember it, to tell you the truth. Hip hop. That shit. They have access to the computers, the SOMs, and they say, oh, this inmate's suicidal. Well, we have a hip-hop bed open in Pelican Bay State Prison. Escort this inmate from Donovan all the way to Pelican Bay to house him in the hip-hop psychiatric one-on-one. Now, I have to tell you guys, for the longest times, I saw inmates get transported from Donovan to Pelican Bay, and inmates from Pelican Bay or High Desert down to Donovan for psychiatric holds. How weird is that? What a waste of taxpayers' money, resources. They were freaking bussing inmates at the leisure of the inmates, just milking the system, getting free ridesies all around the state of California. Gracias a ti, no, a ti. Anyhow, I think after a few years, I noticed they kind of kept it southern, so we would send our, I don't want to call them turds, but they would act like turds, right? Oh, Hector, you shouldn't call people with mental illness turds. Would you call a child that throws a tantrum on the floor a mental illness? I don't know. Call it what you want to call it. I didn't appreciate this type of behavior. Wait till you hear the story. So they would keep it local. Chino, which is kind of close to Donovan. Lancaster, which is somewhat close to Donovan. At least it ain't Pelican Bay or High Desert. Well, I'll be damned. This inmate committed a lot of batteries on staff members in RJD, which is San Diego County. Therefore, he has now incurred new charges, battery on peace officers. But the inmate was being housed at Stockton, this new Stockton Mental Health Facility, CHCF. I went to the academy that was right next door. It was an old women's prison that was broken down or closed down. Level 4 academy. At one point, they said that that woman's prison was the most bloodiest prison in the state. Me das asco, Hector. You be having your Red Wings, my boy? You know I be having my Red Wings. Anyways, this inmate was housed at Stockton, however, would have to be coming to court every fucking day in San Diego, Chula Vista, South Bay Court. So what do you think they did? Well, let me tell you. Stockton prison absolutely refused to transport this inmate because this inmate was not a good inmate, right? Very bad inmate. Now, I'm not going to say he was dangerous. Okay, for me to say he was dangerous would be like a vicious pit bull. Nah, he was kind of like a fucking retarded Rottweiler, right? It was like once in a while, it will probably just agitate you or nip at your ankle and you have to, hit him with a newspaper. But anyhow, we weren't doing that, right? It's just giving you guys the mindset. So, fucking PTSD. So, I'm on the crisis response team, and I already told you about the former commander. I might as well come out and say it. That commander had a clique within the CRT. He had his friends, and his friends were the ones that kind of like kissed his ass, so to say. Your boy's not one for the kissing of asses. Let me tell you, I'm just not going to do it. So a lot of the team, well, the crisis response team from Donovan was in charge to pick this inmate up every day at nighttime and drive him down to court in the morning in Chula Vista and drive him back up to Stockton at the end of court. Think about what I just said. That's a 24-hour trip. Oh, that's a 24-hour trip. Sucks for the inmate that's in waist restraints in the back of the van. Think about that. That dude's in restraints in the back of the van, up and down, right? So I told you that this former captain had favorite buddies. Well, it was always the same guys going on those runs. And they would keep it secrets too. And they kind of like, hey man, what you guys be doing over there? Who you guys be transporting? Which kind of what I hated is the staff members. They used to like poke at me and be like, oh, damn, Hector, you didn't know about that run? Oh, the whole CRT team got activated except you. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers. Oh, these motherfuckers, right? They be playing those games, those favoritism games. Your boy doesn't play favoritism games, right? So I kind of raised a stink like, hey, man, I just find it disrespectful that line staff knows about CRT operations and I don't even be knowing about them. And I'm in the fucking team, right? Keep me in the dark around here. So they're like, fine, Hector, fine, you can go. I'm like, I really didn't want to go. I was just kind of just proving a point. Your boy has a habit of proving points. I didn't really want to go. I could care less. But there I go with my buddy who's a Christian man. We'll leave it at that. Stocky dude, short dude, Brazilian jiu-jitsu type tacticianist. Dude has hands. Dude is a good dude, right? Good is a good dude. Dude is a good dude. Fucking started glitching there. So we drive up, start telling him my life story. We're driving up, chopping it up. We get to Stockton, right? It had to have been like nighttime because I told you he goes to court in the morning. Well, there's a process to do transportation. You got to do an unclosed body search with a strip search. Shake your hair, run your finger through your hair, open up your mouth, lift up your tongue, right? Let me see your hands, flip them over. Let me see your armpits. Lift up your sack, turn around, peel back your foreskin. I'm just kidding. Some white dude at Centinela made a fucking inmate pull back his foreskin. And everybody looked at him like, the fuck? The hell, bro? Oh, there's something wrong with you, G? And it wasn't greñas. It wasn't greñas. Imagine that. Anyhow. Holy fuck, this is the wild one. Right? So... Oh my God. Holy shit. Red Wings, fucking foreskin. Oh my goodness. I love this YouTube shit. I truly do. Anyhow, 2 million views. Woo! So this inmate, right? He wasn't big. He was stocky. I wasn't intimidated by this inmate. I was more like cautionary, right? Like cautionary, motherfucker, you make a move, I'm gonna make a move, right? Like, that type, right? I wasn't fucking fearing this guy to death, right? There are some guys that you kind of give you the creeps, the wheelies. This guy, you could just tell, was kind of like playing the part in a way, milking the system. So we're in the back of Stockton prison, in the back of the R&R. I had never been to that prison. I had never been to that R&R. Man, as we're loading this inmate, my buddy's an officer, I'm a lieutenant. We're both in the CRT team. My friend has the inmate by the arm, by the bicep. That's how you escort. You escort him like this. Well, all of a sudden, I hear my friend say, do you really want to do that? And I look, what this inmate had done is he trapped. He trapped the arm, the hand of my friend in between his bicep and in between his body. And trapped him, right? I told you, my friend knows jiu-jitsu. Motherfucker could have thrown this guy over the roof, right? He clenched. Now, just so you guys know, per policy, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm telling you what policy says. Policy says we could have picked that motherfucker up, turned him upside down, and dropped him on top of his cranium. We could have done it. The dude gave us a green light to absolutely demolish him. Right? That's it. Period. I don't care. That's policy. You ain't supposed to be doing any of this kind of stuff, right? You're just not. It's dangerous environment. So the officer, having the wit, said, do you really want to do that? And I think he like flexed back. The dude realized, right, you got a retarded Rottweiler looking at a retarded CO. You got 3 guys that are not all there. They're like, okay, well, I'm a let up, right? I don't want to take this ride. Didn't take the ride. That type of ride. We load him up in the van. I tell my friend, hey, what did that guy do? He's like, motherfucker trapped my hand. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's going to be a long ride. Anyhow, this is the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I got to keep it 100. Like Captain B would say. We're driving down that freeway that nobody gets off, right? Where there's like Bakersfield, like Fresno, like above the Grapevine. And they were like, we're going to pull over to get some food. I'm like, cool. Like once in a while, we'll get over like a pull over at the fast food place and get a burger. I'm just going to tell you guys, man, my fingers are not crossed. I'm not into any of this kind of stuff. And you guys know, man, I might as well just spill the beans. Bean spiller. They tell me that they're going to get the inmate a burger. And I'm like, the fuck? Because that's kind of not normal. Unless there's like a state of fucking emergency or everybody's starving to death or the inmate has not eaten in like probably fucking 24 hours. I could kind of see, hey, the dude has to eat. Regardless if the guy has to eat. But this was not the case. This was more of the case of, we're gonna give this guy a burger in hopes that he does not act up. And I'm like, fuck, I don't do that, right? I don't negotiate with terrorists, as George Bush used to say. In a way. I'm not calling all inmates terrorists. I'm just calling this inmate who used to do terrorizing activities, right? They buy the motherfucker a burger. He's eating it. He's chomping it down. I'm just in it for the ride, right? I'm not really tripping. I was tripping on that, but I'm not going to say nothing. Again, that commander, that team, that's what they had been doing all these months. Maybe that's why they didn't want me to go on the run. They didn't want me to see this bullshit. I don't know. I don't encourage that. Right? So we make it down to fucking South Bay Courthouse. I'd never been there either. You go through the vehicle sally port, right? The county jail. There's the court, and I think there's a jail underground. And I'm in the back holding tank areas. There's a sheriff, deputy sheriff in there. And they know this inmate. Ooh, they despise this inmate. We bench our guns. We have guns. There's lockboxes, safes. We bench them. And then it's me, that officer. Then the inmate goes into the holding cell. He's about to be seen by the judge. It's morning time now. 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. The deputy sheriff kind of disappears. He doesn't want to be a part of this inmate's life. He hates him. So, the inmate gets his sack lunch. He has some type of lunch, some type of cardboard that the sandwich came in. He starts opening it up. He starts taking off his jumpsuit. He had like an orange jumpsuit. He starts taking it off and goes to the side of the toilet. So the holding cell is a cell. There's a glass on the windows, and then there's a door, and then there's a toilet inside. This dude starts taking his shit off. My partner opens the door and says, "Stop." Well, they've been around this inmate. I had it, and I'm like, well, what's this dude gonna do? They're like, this guy's about to rub shit all over himself and all over the cell. Yeah, again, trying to make himself look crazy in front of the judge so he doesn't stand trial. Again, that's why they do it, Hector. Manipulation tactics. This guy was just manipulating the fucking system so much so that he had the crisis response team giving him Whataburgers. Right? Big double doubles. Extra cheese because he might have been a rat. Who knows? I don't know. The dude was fucking wild with it. So, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. The dude has never fucking seen me before, right? When people size each other up, we're just looking at each other. What are we gonna do here, man? How far you want to take this, right? Because an officer will just go to work and sit there for 8 hours. Whatever the inmate wants to do, however far an inmate wants to take it, we'll take it there. We'll even go further. Like, why not? This was that situation. So this dude is adamant that he's going to rub shit all over the thing. So I'm not upset because I never got upset. I would just be serious and be like, look, man, check this out, dude. You can rub shit all over yourself. You could even break the windows. But do not gas us. And when I said that, he looked at me like, okay. My partners looked at me like, what the hell? Right? And the sheriff officer deputy was like, what the hell did this guy just say? But the dude was on board. I said like, hey man, you have free reign. Go ahead and rub shit all over yourself. Break these windows. I don't give a fuck. But do not gas us, man. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. I got you. Don't trip. I'm not going to gas you guys. Not that I would have taken his word, but he kind of understood what I was getting at. Anyways, the judge refused to see him. The judge refused to see him because he heard, right, this guy had priors. He was well known there at the South Bay jail. That he was already going to rub shit on himself. The judge said, I'm not seeing him. Take him back and bring him back tomorrow. Again, court orders, that's how this money's getting wasted. So then the inmate gets upset. He thinks they're fucking with him. Well, he thinks they're fucking with him. Now that the judge doesn't want to see him because the judge heard he was rubbing shit on him. So he starts cutting himself. When I say cutting himself, listen to me. There's two types of cutters. One where the inmate will really get a razor blade and really fucking cut himself. I'm talking about slices, she motherfucking wide open. And then there's these type that do it for attention. Like just, they'll bleed. Don't get me wrong, they'll bleed, but they're not going to die. There's blood everywhere, right? Motherfucker starts cutting himself. We're looking at this guy's like a bloody shitty mess, right? We're like, oh, the motherfucker. The motherfucker got to eat his fucking sandwich, burger, got to rub shit on himself, put blood. I told him he could break the windows. I don't give a fuck. Just don't assault us. He understood that part. Good. So we're like on a 24-hour shift, man. This kind of story, this part gets funny. And we drop him off in Stockton. Mind you, we're running on 20 fucking hours now. 20 hours. So a team meets us, or a team was going to meet us, to take the inmate back the remainder of the way. And meet us like in Bakersfield, or past the Grapevine. Like a rest area type. There was gas station. There was a hotel. There was a Jack in the Box. Because we all met at the Jack in the Box. We traded the inmate off at the Jack in the Box. Right? So we've been on 20 hours. They sent another CRT team element from Donovan. Hey, you take them the remainder way of Stockton because we're running on 20 hours. About to do a 24-hour shift. Probably 25. Who knows? Right? Well, we had a tactical leader. Tactical leader was a good dude. Just an older guy, right? Experienced. Just you could tell he was kind of tired of our bullshit towards the end. So he fucking... Well, I'm eating like my jalapeno poppers at Jack in the Box, drinking my coffee, black, chanate. And my friend, the officer, talks to the TL. And I want you to make something known, man. They made it very clear that rank... that rank doesn't mean nothing in CRT. Meaning, if you're a sergeant in the prison, don't mean shit. If you're a lieutenant, doesn't mean shit. That there's no rank in CRT. I want you to understand with this. They made it very clear, right? So I'm like, cool, rank don't mean shit. But listen. So the officer talks to the TL. The TL at the time was an officer, the tactical leader. This guy's in charge of the tactical element. So he comes back. I said, well, what did he say? Right? I'm over there eating my fucking Buffalo Ranch, not Buffalo Ranch, buttermilk house dressing. And he's like, hey, he told us to get a hotel room because we're going on 24 hours and we cannot drive. It's like against the law. But then he winked afterwards. Like, what do you mean he winked afterwards? Like, yeah, bro. He said, hey, get a room, right? Because you guys are going to get in trouble if you guys drive. You can't be on the road for 24 hours. I don't even think truck drivers could do that. But then he winked. I'm like, he winked as in like, do whatever the fuck you want wink? He's like, well, I don't know, he winked. I'm like, I don't know, bro. If you're telling me he winked and he winked, then a wink is a wink, right? So we start heading down, man. And I'll be damned if on the way down, that TAC leader didn't pass us, right? We're like in two vehicles. He looked fucking pissed, right? He looked highly upset. He texts my friend, didn't I fucking tell you to spend the night? Try to spend the day in a hotel, sleep for 8 hours? Bro, you said the motherfucker winked. He's like, he did wink. I'm like, oh, you're a motherfucker, right? So we get back, he gives us an earful, they chew us all out, and they say, Hector, you should have known better, man, you're a fucking lieutenant. I said, time out. Hell no. Time out. Fuck no. All of a sudden, you guys told me rank don't mean shit. All of a sudden, we're all about to get in trouble, and you say, oh, I'm a fucking lieutenant, I should have known better? Fuck you guys, right? It's kind of convenience. They just were really, they really drove the point home that I was new on the team. I don't give a fuck, man. I already been kicking indoors everywhere else. You're new on the team. Shut your mouth. That was the culture back then. You're new. Shut your mouth. I didn't like that. I believe then you guys should be able to speak, right? Everybody, you're on the team. Anyhow, that's the story of how we transported this one guy, man. Other than that, he didn't give us no problems, right? With us, he was just giving himself problems and giving everybody, like, he's just making a scene. But with that, the message for today is just like how my friend trapped his arm, or my friend. That was a good message because, like I said, man, we could have dumped them. And a lot of times I worked the prison with OG officers. And they're like, man, these young kids don't get it. These young kids don't get it. They're giving you guys more work, LT. Like, let's say they're escorting an inmate. The inmate jerks. Not violently, but, you know, talking shit. The officers will dump them. When you're a seasoned officer, you can fucking just firmly grip them and be like, hey, relax. Right? And that prevents you from causing a whole incident, using force. And they understand it and you understand it. And you guys can talk about it later. Right? And now, if you're getting battered, that's a whole different story. The motherfucker's combative, that's a whole different story. Right? But you're hearing what I'm saying. With that, keep pushing forward.